Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to learn about Terraform backend. On the last video, we have learned about how the Terraform TF state manages our resources which we have deployed to the successive environments, right? Now, last video we have seen the Terraform TF state file was in local. Now in this video, we are going to learn about how to push that TF state to remote backend. Now, there may be a question being coming like, why do we need to push that TF state from local to remote, right? So with this simple diagram, we are going to understand that. Say you have a developer of say user A, another developer is user B, right? So user A, while making any change to any environment, right? Here in this remote scenario, he will be pulling the Terraform TF state file to his local desktop or laptop, right? And then configuring the resources. Similarly, user B will also pull the Terraform state and to his local laptop or desktop and make the necessary changes, right? In the scenario of local state change, right? If it is a local, not remote, then the user A would be having that state file of the resources, right, in his own place, which makes the user B not sure of what other things got deployed there or what other things got configured, right? This will create chaos. So for better developer connectivity, right, we use this Terraform TF state file in a backend place, right? So in this example, we have taken S3 as the remote backend. So we will go and see how this we can configure. We have come to yesterday's file, which we have used for creating Docker resource, right? However, we made some modification, as in we have introduced this backend section where we have given this Terraform TF state and as a key and where it needs to push to this bucket, right? So this bucket has to be priorly created because backend S3 does not expect a bucket which is a variabilized. It only accepts a string. It cannot be variabilized, right? So fine, let us see how this works out, right? We'll make a Terraform init, and this time whatever the Terraform TF state would be there, right, it would be moving towards, it will move to the S3 bucket instead of last time we see in the local TF state, right? I will make a Terraform apply with auto approve. However, if you guys have not seen my last video where I have made this Docker resource, please check out my last video. I will be sharing a link in this video. So here we can see that the container ID got created and the container IP is now this thing, right? But let us see, is the Terraform TF state file got created or not? No, there is no Terraform TF state file. We have Terraform log file, Terraform directory, but there is no TF state file, right? Now let us see the Terraform TF state file in the S3 bucket. See, it got pushed, right? And we can see the Terraform TF state file here. So that means whatever the Docker resources which we have created, that has been now pushed to this Terraform TF state file. Great. Now you may be wondering, this random characters I have added, right? Every time you need to add some bunch of characters because it should be unique, right? So I have not done this manually. I have done the same thing with this Terraform file also. So let me go to the same file. So I have created another folder where I have given the file name as S3 bucket. Let me read out this file actually. So here we have taken the resource called AWS S3 bucket and we have given a name called bucket. Now, as we have learned in our first video that a Terraform is majorly of blocks and arguments, right? Anything on the equals left hand side is the argument name, on the equals right hand side is the argument value. So here we have done is we have used a random string resource, right, where we have given the length as 8, and that is why you can see the length is 8 exactly, 2 4 6 8, right? So the 8 character of the length, right? And what I'm doing is when I'm giving this random string, I am also using a label which is called as suffix random, right? So in this resource, whatever the output it is coming, I am consuming the output and passing to this AWS S3 bucket resource, right, through this dollar flower brackets and the resource name and the label name and the result. Now I would be showing this random string also. Let us see this first as a random string. What does it contains? Let me go to the random string resource. So here we can see in the random string resource, this is the example where they have been taken some length, right, and with override, and what does it exports, right? So every resource whatever you have, it gives some output. In this random string, right, it gives an output called ID or result. Both remains the same, the random generated string. So what we did is we use this random string, right, with this random as a label, right, in our scenario, and we are using this ID or result, right? So we have used this result. As we can see here, result is the output of the string. So use this result. So that means this will give the random string appended with my awesome S3 bucket, right? And then after that, it will create this bucket with versioning enabled. And whatever the bucket got created, right, we are using an output block to print the value. Now let us go to this AWS S3 bucket also, just for a reference. Okay, let me go to here only. So these are some examples of S3 bucket. My main concern is when this S3 bucket got created with the bucket as a label, right, what does it gives an output which I can consume to print out, right? So I'll go to this attributes. In the attributes section, we can get the outputs actually. If I click the attributes, I can see here that this is the ID of the bucket, right? So ID gives the name of the bucket. So this is all I want because I just need the name of the bucket, what it got created, right? Great. So I can see here that I am displaying the ID, right? Now, just for example, let me change this value from length of character 8 to say length of say 12, right? So that means that will create some different bucket, right? Let me initialize this. Okay, so it is now making a Terraform lock and it is saying, okay, there are so many changes I will be making, which is about the Terraform versioning. Great. Let me make a Terraform apply and see, is there a new bucket getting created along it? Now, this is not belonging to the backend configuration. This is just to show that, okay, if we are creating the bucket also along with the backend, right, this will be helpful. Right. So let me go to the buckets now, and if I refresh it, you can see that I have got one more bucket which would have this 12 characters, right? See the same example, I have created this bucket like in the example, and I've pushed the Terraform changes from the Docker resource and pushed the state here. So this is like a double thing. We have seen here how to create a bucket, and we have seen here how to push the state file to the bucket, right? I hope this video is informative. Thank you for watching this.